Good day. I'm Chris Jansing live at MSNBC headquarters in New York City. Courtroom or campaign stop, Donald Trump's message is the same. Trump and his belief that increasingly his court dates and campaign appearances are serving the same purpose, to convince his supporters he's in an all-or-nothing battle with what he calls the wicked people who have taken control of our once great country. This is in the last couple of weeks, who are things like former executives, bank executives, financial experts, saying the kinds of things that Lisa just said we heard today. And kind of at one point, the judge backed that up. He said, quote, if there is one feels so strongly that what he's saying is right, that he can convince anybody that he's right. But what do you make of this, again, as a legal strategy, his being the last voice that defends here a little bit, because it's going to be, today is the 8th anniversary of Donald Trump proposing a Muslim ban. It seems like maybe 8 decades ago. MSNBC is the first to obtain a statement from the president discussing it. Here's what the President Biden statement says. The proposal, meaning the Muslim ban, was a cynical ploy. It was about sowing fear and distrust of Muslims. It's a move that's being called high stakes and high risk. The Nevada campus is closed in Las Vegas as that city, scarred by the nation's deadliest mass shooting. The U.S. and Israel appear to be on a collision. Surprise! Turns out the end of the Republican debate season isn't the end after all. We've just learned that 2 more debates have been added in January, even before the impact of last night's debate is clear. Back now with our exclusive NBC News investigation into shootings that involve federal task force members and why so often the officers are not charged. I want to bring in. It's good to be back with you for this second hour of Chris Jansing Reports. Ahead for us, disturbing new details about the gunman behind a deadly college rampage in Las Vegas. 2 senior law enforcement officials tell NBC the suspect once wanted a job at the school. 3 years later, he came back and killed. New reporting on the fighting in Gaza. Is Israel reporting to flood Hamas tunnels with seawater? What new satellite images tell us? Plus, another day, another censure. What was once rare punishment gets handed down again, this time against a Democratic congressman who falsely pulled a fire alarm. It's the 3rd censure just this year. And yet another state bringing down the legal hammer on pro-Trump fake electors, Nevada. The top Republican officials now facing felony charges. Our NBC News reporters are following all of the latest developments, but we begin in Las Vegas with NBC's Dana Griffin and those new details on a college campus shooting that killed 3 people. What more overseas, where authorities had been bracing for a march of ultra-nationalists in Jerusalem's Old City? Hala Garani is there for us. Hill, where the House has censured a member of Congress for pulling a fire alarm on the day of a key vote. NBC's Sahil Kapoor is 6 fake electors for Donald Trump have now been indicted by a grand jury on felony charges. NBC's Natasha Karim, in this case, is going to be one of Donald Trump's former attorneys. Tell us about it. It's maybe the only thing that really matters about last night's Republican presidential debate. Did any of the vast majority of Republican voters who backed Donald Trump see anything that would make them switch their support? A Texas judge has just granted an emergency order allowing an abortion. New data is giving us the clearest picture yet of how state bans in a post-Roe world have forced patients to travel for long distances. A New York man running for George Santos's congressional seat has just been convicted on federal January. It's not immediately clear whether Grillo will also be a candidate in the February 13th special election that was scheduled after George Santos was ousted from Congress. Meantime, the White House is slamming Republicans for blocking the advance of a critical foreign aid package last night, accusing them of trying to kneecap Ukraine on the battlefield for the sake of their own agenda. Here's what was said just a short time ago at the White House press briefing. Now to a stunning accusation against Meta, the company formerly called Facebook. A new lawsuit from the state of New Mexico accuses Meta of steering underage users to sexually explicit content and promoting those minors' accounts to suspected child predators.
Thank you, Chris.
We have an update now on the Palestinian-American student who was shot along with 2 of his friends during a Thanksgiving weekend in Vermont. So you did everything right. You got your holiday shopping done early, you checked your list twice, and you made sure you got all your friends and family. And yet, The Grinch is always looming, and by that I mean something breaks before it gets under the tree. NBC News, we love your mom. Thank you so much. And again, congrats.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
That's going to do it for us this hour. Make sure to join us for Chris Jansing Reports every weekday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on MSNBC. We're working on getting the Brian Chung posters ready to go. Ryan Nobles hosts Katie Tur Reports right now.